I have become lexicon, destroyer of words is what this game's tagline possibly should be. Because today we're talking about a Scrabble-like game all about destruction, not building. No one's trying to create a fun, happy environment. You're trying to create this evil, twisted cosmos and almost Lovecraftian, without saying Lovecraftian sense, of Azathoth versus Azathoth as you're playing Scrabble and killing each other. That is essentially what this game is. It's battle Scrabble, not battle chess, not battle checkers. Battle Scrabble. That's right, you heard me correctly. So, if you like Scrabble, check out this game as we dive into it. If you don't like Scrabble, check this game out because it does some tweaks and twists that we're going to talk about in the final thoughts. But I just wanted to grab you there before we get too much further down this video. It is a Scrabble game. So if you are not a words fan at all, this one does a few things that may suit your fancy enough to pull you back in. So let's take a look at what the game looks like, how it plays. A pretty good overview here of where you can watch this and get the idea of how to play the game. And then we're going to dive into final thoughts right here. So what are we looking at? This is Destroyer of Words, mid-game actually, but I'm going to show you what it would look like at the start. You would all get these player boards which show you how many points a word is worth or a letter is worth when it comes off the board, since you're destroying words. You also start with these letters, and the art style in this game is pretty neat. It's very like heavy metal sort of thing. So all of these letters have some interesting points to it. I would like to point out a couple things about the letters. They all have sharp points. Those are your attack points. That's how you do attacks based on directional focuses of these. Notice they have points on the bottom here and the top on this A. Not every A or E or I or O or U is the same though. So just know that that is the interesting thing, is that it is varied depending on which actual letter you get. Now, you have to start in your color. If you're playing a two-player game, you get two of these areas versus two. But you have to start across this eye here. It's kind of your main source of power, right? But in order to attack, you have to build a chain across these portal mouths, and these portal mouths are what essentially give you power. On your turn, you're going to build words, starting across the eye, of course, and not just the first time, because these could be blown off and you'll have to start over. But you're going to be building words across this eye to get certain things out here. And it has to be a two-letter minimum, so we'll put me out here just to start, just to show you. Now, I couldn't attack from here, but had I earlier had a word that I'm attacking or attaching to, let's just say I have the word meat. I don't have a T. I'll just grab a T from up here. So you have the word meat here. Well, now that meat is over here, I can then attack off of this chain because it crosses this portal mouth. Now, don't forget, this would have to be attached to this eye. We know that already, but just for the sake of saying, notice that meat now, you could attack from any one of these letters attached to this portal chain that across that mouth. So let's just say I wanted to attack with this M here. You then count range based on how many letters the word is. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. I could attack, but you get to attack with the certain types of attacks based on how many letters you have left on your board. If you've used 4 letters, you get to have the undefiner attack, which is down here. The undefiner attack essentially just lets you go and attack one of the letters. The problem is when you attack a letter, if the words don't continue being full words, everything that would be part of a word that's not a real word comes off the board too. Now this was in this zone, which is the close zone, which means it's worth 1 point. This goes here. This, unfortunately for me, still makes all of these actual letters, which is very nice for the other player. But had I knocked out, let's just say that as well, well then OW is not a word, so those would come off, right? Unless you say ow, but let's just face it, somebody's going to dictionary check you on if it's real or not. You keep pulling the words off. Where they are situated on the board determines how many points they're worth. If you knock somebody's word off up here, each of these letters is worth 3 points. This section is worth 2. This section is worth 1. The different attacks are the undefiner, the lexecutioner. You would then attack one letter and then it splash damages up, down, left, right from it. And the last is the erasinator. You would attack in a straight line based on where these are going. Now some of these can attack in diagonal, like that R will attack in the diagonal, and it just erases everything in its sight across there. The game ends when all the draw tiles are empty. Points are counted by what you have in these sections. Whoever has the most points wins the game, and that is Destroyer of Words. So that's Destroyer of Words. It is a very, very much Scrabble game, right? I mean, you're doing Scrabble, except the difference is you never score points for building. You only score points for what you destroy, hence the name. It's right there in the title, Destroyer of Words. I mean, that's what I call it that, right? But the idea is simple. You are building words, and a couple tweaks and twists, obviously, that I like better is that you can build more than one word per turn, as long as you have the letters to do so, opening up those powers to attack better and better and better each time. So I like the fact that you're opening up the powers to attack. I like the way this game looks on the table, too. It is ugly in a Lovecraftian sort of way, right? It's got a cool, like, 80s rock, early Dungeons and Dragons sort of art motif going with it. And I think that's a neat sort of side effect that they did. Essentially, though, we're taking Scrabble from where it's been for the last X number of years, and we're changing it to where you're not building, you're attacking each other's words. That person who put down XI on the table when you're playing words with friends or you're playing Scrabble and you just want to slap the game board clear across the table when they put it down there and they're like, oh, that's worth 77 points. This allows you to fix that, because when someone puts it out there, you can shoot their words into oblivion. Which is nice. It really is. Someone gets too haughty and proud of their words and you get to destroy it because everybody needs to be taken down a little bit of a peg on Scrabble. But anyway, as far as the game itself, is it fun? That is the real problem. This is an actor's portrayal, reenactment of what we felt like during the game. Yeah, is it my turn? You good? Yeah, okay. So needless to say, a little bit bland. Maybe it's because Scrabble is bland to me. I hate Scrabble. And real talk, the reason I hate Scrabble is because everybody in my circle is much, 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 much better at Scrabble than I am, and they kill me at it. So it's one of those things where maybe I hate it because I lose at it, or maybe I just hate it because it's a bad game. You can be the judge of that. But the point is, I didn't like this too much better, even with the tweaks of having the different types of attacks and having the ability to put multiple words down at once, because you're still building words. And you can get kind of stuck, depending on the words you have or the letters you have, trying to get out to those portals, those mouths, to hopefully get somewhere where you can attack. As if not, since you can't build diagonally, you kind of can get stuck sometimes with some poor situations where you build a word or a couple different words and you're not across a portal or a mouth or a chain like that, and you can't attack them, but the very next turn, they wipe everything off your board. Now, truth be told, this should mean that you need to think accordingly and build more words that have more options for words to be broken down inside of. Meat becomes eat, right? So things like that, so maybe think strategically in that sense. But all in all, if you like Scrabble, you're gonna be okay on this one, but you're probably not gonna like this one better than Scrabble. If you don't like Scrabble, this isn't going to change your mind much. It's a cool concept, don't get me wrong. The idea of eating, destroying, killing the words that were put out there on the table as opposed to building words, but it just still feels like Scrabble, and Scrabble is one of my least favorite games. So, sorry to bring that down for you, but that is how I feel about Destroyer of Words, the Amazon only, I believe, exclusive game, all about destroying each other's Scrabble game versus building it up. So, I'm Bryan Drake here on the Dice Tower. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, all those places at Dice Tower Bryan. And until next time, we'll see you.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.